Hi. So I just wanted to kind of start my own channel. I've been really passionate about um, ketogenic living and the whole diet. I found that it has really helped me so much. And it's probably a way of eating that a lot of people don't know. And when they hear details about it, it sounds absolutely crazy. And if you hear little giggles in the background, that's my 8-month-old Casper. He's amazing. So just kind of a little bit of a backstory on myself so you know where I'm coming from. Short but sweet. I have been overweight for most of my life. I really didn't start an actual weight loss journey till about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was at my heaviest, which was 260 pounds. I lived on my own. And with living on my own, I really didn't have anybody around to tell me no, or Jamie, you probably shouldn't eat that. Things like that. Oh yeah, my name is Jamie for people that don't know me. And so, with staying up late playing games or whatever I was doing, I would come home from work, relax with, chips, ice cream, whatever bad things that you can imagine. And so I ballooned eventually to 260 pounds. At that point in my life, I was getting periods maybe once to twice a year if I was lucky. So obviously my body was not working like it was supposed to. I was out of breath just trying to go up a set of stairs. I had high blood pressure, which I had to take medication for. I can't even tell you what my blood sugar would be or anything like that because unfortunately I didn't get that tested. But what I can tell you is that where I first started was just exercising, trying to eat healthy as best as I knew how. I lost a little bit that way. And then I had found another crash diet and I tried that. It's a 40-day diet and I did it and I followed it to a T. I lost a lot of weight, but in the same token, I had incredible brain fog, weakness. My hair started falling out. My nails were extremely brittle, and that never happens to me. I have very strong nails. So, I mean, it wasn't the best thing for me to be on. I knew this is not something that I can sustain myself lifelong on, and I need to get to a place where I can actually feel healthy. So eventually I had found keto, and I was able to lose the rest of my weight doing that, the majority of my weight loss. I was able to go from 260 pounds down to 161. I know, I wish that I could have done, that 100-pound loss. It irks me that I couldn't get there, but I know I will. Anyway, so 161 pounds, I was at the point in my life where then I had gotten married. I was ready to, have babies and stuff. My cycles at this point were regular now that I've lost the weight. They were 33 days on average. It really helped me that way. I was very fertile. So we started trying for a baby when we were ready. And so we got pregnant the first time. And unfortunately, we lost our first baby at 3 months. And so I it's a little bit hard to talk about, but I was quite depressed for a few months after that happened, and sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit, and it was a lot to get over, but it's never something I'll forget. Obviously, hopefully, I never go through it again, but with going through that, I had my hormones go out of whack like crazy, and I gained some pounds back. I went from 161 actually up to 185 within a couple of months, and I got pregnant after a few months after we lost the first baby. And I got pregnant with our rainbow baby Casper, and he's absolutely amazing. He's 8 months old now, and he keeps me really busy. And while I was pregnant, I didn't eat keto just because of how paranoid I was Just the first time that we lost the baby, I was going to eat just everything that I could that was nutritious. Obviously, I did have treats too. But I started my pregnancy off at 185. And after I had him, I was able to go to 175 pretty easily. With breastfeeding, though, I tried to do it keto. I tried to transition, and unfortunately it made my milk supply completely drop, and I had to stop because my baby's health and him gaining weight is more important, of course, than any type of weight loss that I could have had. So that, of course, came first. I put that on hold, and I weaned him last month when he was 7 months, just before Christmas. Immediately started keto back up. Of course, just because of the holidays and everything, there was some days where I fell off the wagon, and it's hard. It's not the type of way of eating where, especially if you're doing it for weight loss, which I am, that you can really get off the wagon for a day or two here or there. Sure that you could lose the weight that way. That's not a problem. But at the same time, you're really not going to have the best success that you could. Anyway, I went for sushi and everything and visited with my parents. So now I've actually been on keto for 6 days straight. My weight with breastfeeding, like I said, has been completely up and down. Went back up to 183. That was last month. Right now, it's 178 as of yesterday anyways. I weighed myself yesterday because I had started a challenge that a group on Facebook that I'm in is doing, and it's dairy-free, nut-free, sweetener-free. So today is day 2 of that, and I'm not going to weigh myself until it's over, especially now that Shark Week has started. If you're a guy watching this, probably don't look it up because you don't want to know. If you do know, I'm sorry, but if you're a woman, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. So in any case, I just kind of wanted to start a channel, just kind of talking about myself, where I'm coming from. I'm really passionate about this way of eating. I introduced it to some of my coworkers that I work with, and I am planning to go back to work in a couple of months, and also have told family members about it. I've told my sister-in-law, and so she is really on board with doing that now. I am really excited about where I can go in this year. I would really like to get to 155 pounds or less. That would be great. I've noticed that in the last week or so, even though I've really only dropped maybe half a pound to a pound, my clothes feel quite a bit bigger, and so I can remember that from before, when I lost the majority of my weight before getting pregnant either time. It was with doing keto and tons of heavy weightlifting. Minimal cardio, just because I do have a mild heart condition, and so I try to do some cardio to take care of my heart that way. My husband, of course, is always very concerned about that too, so I always make sure that I'm taking care of myself the best I can. So that's what worked for me. Unfortunately, at this point in time, with money and time and making it work, I haven't been able to go back to the gym yet, but I would eventually like to get to that point. So this channel, I don't know exactly what it's going to have. May just have recipes, updates of how my weight loss is doing, but it's something nice to go back and look at. If you want to ask me what really kind of motivated me to get started, it really was at a point where I had lost, I want to say maybe 40, 50 pounds, something like that, from my heaviest. And I was just at the point where, honestly, I didn't feel like I was nasty. I didn't feel like I was disgusting looking, but at the same time, I knew that I really wasn't done, but I didn't have that oomph, that push. And so what really honestly happened was, a couple of years ago, I lost my dad. And he had always had health issues his whole life. He was a person who would yo-yo up and down, unfortunately. And no disrespect to my dad, it's super hard. I love food, and honestly, that's probably where I get my love of food. I'm obsessed. Like, a friend commented on my Facebook the other day that, I'm the type of person where if I make a plan to go and have food, I'll go to sleep thinking about it. And the moment I wake up, I'll be excited saying, yay, I'm going to this place to eat, or I get to eat this. That is me. I love the taste of food. My dad was probably the same. Honestly, that's probably where I get it from. And so anyways, he was the type of person who had a lot of periods of his life where his weight was very much up and down, including his health. I can remember from when I was younger, just him having to take lots of pills for different things for his heart and stuff like that. He had a heart condition as well. He had heart disease. That's what I mean. And he had things done like a triple bypass. He had heart attacks. He actually ended up with diabetes, and eventually he passed away of cirrhosis of the liver. My reasoning that I was told for that is that I guess part of his heart medication that he was on affected that. That's what they had found. Because my dad, like, the usual reason you see for that is alcohol or whatever, but my dad was not an alcoholic. And I mean, I'm not going to get into that part because it's not what this video is about, but that's not why. So anyway, his passing was very hard. Because it just reminded me, I could have easily been in a position where, something could have happened to me too. My mom reminded me that my dad's first heart attack, he was about 230 pounds. And I was heavier than that at one point. I could have very well had a heart attack. God obviously prevented that, and I'm so thankful. And my dad had lots of health issues, and before he died, one of the last things that he told me was that he didn't want me to go down the same health path as him. He wanted me to just make sure to take care of myself and to make sure that I was healthy. And so that really motivated me. I wanted to make not only him proud. The thing is if you want to lose weight, it more so is a mental thing than anything else. Honestly, people can say, oh, this is the trick or that is the trick, and everybody's body is different. You need to find what works for you. Keto doesn't necessarily work for everyone, especially like if you're type 1 diabetic, then you definitely want to do more research. Don't just jump into anything. Do your research, know what's good for you, what works for your body. But I found keto and it worked for me, and I found it and I thought it was great because it took away a lot of the sugar cravings, a lot of the carb cravings, which honestly, I could tell you, like, I'm very bad for binging sometimes. But when my dad passed away, that was kind of the turning point where I got that extra fire under my butt. And when I would be working out in the gym, in the mornings, I would go to the gym for 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes even earlier, work out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes tops, sometimes only half hour if I had the time. But when I would be, on that elliptical or doing, that set of the weights and everything else like that, one of my biggest things would be my dad, obviously. And the other thing would be motivation, which would be my son. Not him specifically because I didn't know him at that point. We weren't even trying. I wasn't pregnant, but I wanted to be healthy and strong for our future babies and be around for my husband and just to be able to be healthy. And that was my main motivation. I wanted to be able to have a healthy pregnancy. And so anyways, I'm going to end this video now, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know who I am, where I'm coming from, the start of my channel. If you have any comments, recommendations, anything like that, I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, so until next time, I guess that's it. Thanks for listening.